Evening everyone, my name's Nicholas, the part-time thrifter. I buy and sell online, I'm using it for profit. Obviously a bit different today, actually a different view. You've actually got the tinfoil up there. But it's actually quite an interesting video because what I've actually got, the video is actually sponsored by OSOME, and we've actually got one of the accountants from OSOME, Timur, that he's actually going to be answering some of the questions that I've had for you guys, either as subscribers or on the Discord group. And if anyone would like to actually join OSOME, okay, I've got below the referral for yous, and you actually get a free consultation and 100 quid off also your first month. And straight away I'm actually going to start with the Q&A with Timur. We'll just start it off, mate. If you want to introduce yourself for everyone.
Sure. My name is Taimur Mugaffar. I'm one of the senior accountants here at OSOME UK. I specialize in e-commerce. My day-to-day job is to figure out how the e-commerce works, how the e-commerce industry works, how can we automate and bring all of the information with a good flow to your accountant's office. And that's what I do at OSOME. OSOME is an online accounting practice, which helps automate the whole process and make it easier for the e-commerce businesses to get their financial information much easier and quicker.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been with you for about 3-4 weeks now, and the difference has been amazing. Like, just able to send you a message in the middle of the day, and I know it might be 1 hour, it might be 5 hours, but I know I'll get my answer before the end of the day, which is absolutely brilliant. So what I've got is I've got a few questions here that people have actually been messaging me during the month, okay, even before I actually had OSOME, and we're just going to run through them, and if you can answer it for us, that'd be brilliant, if that's okay with you.
Yep, let's do that.
Brilliant. So the first one I've got is, so what is the main role of accountant in e-commerce business, okay, and who needs one, and what are the benefits can they actually bring?
So look, as an accountant, the things that you can bring on table is obviously your compliances. So as an e-commerce business, you're quite different to a normal business. You have VAT, which is one of the most complicated areas. Anytime you send or bring goods into the UK or outside the UK, now especially in the EU, things are very complicated. It's not straightforward, just sending the goods. There's a lot of VAT implications, which could be really expensive, and VAT is always dealt with at cash point. So your cash could be very depleted. So knowing all of this and knowing how to do it accurately in the most effective way, and accountant plus and specialist accountant is someone who can do that for you. And there are more things like how to manage your inventory, how to make sure your cost of goods sold are recorded properly, and how to actually see your finances in the correct way. So on month-to-month basis, on week-to-week basis, how much expenses you have made, how to control them, and how to make them more efficient and reduce them. Obviously, that's where the accountant can come in and jump in and help you understand all of that elements. You can hire someone for the 30K to help you do in your business, and only an accountant will be able to tell you that that's not only what you will pay. You will pay national insurance on top of it. You will pay pension on top of it. That 30,000 is probably 35,000. If you're not accommodating that 5,000 extra for that staff, obviously you will end up losing on cash, and you're planning wrong. So to help you plan, to help you understand your business, to help you grow, you need someone who understands the numbers and who can help you understand the numbers as well, not just throw the numbers at you, but actually help you understand what it is. And that's where you need an accountant. When do you need and at what point you would need an accountant? Look, you need an accountant regardless for your compliances. You need to complete your tax returns. You need to submit your VAT returns. You need to pay everything on time, your payroll. When you go to an accountant at the very end, just 2 weeks before your deadline, they will charge you a premium because they will do everything in one go, and you're not getting any benefit other than just compliance. Get an accountant as soon as you can, because someone like us at OSOME, we do your bookkeeping on day-to-day basis, and you will see your figures on regular basis. And because you're not doing everything in one go, your cost is spread throughout the months, and you see your books on regular basis as well.
Yeah, that's what I've seen straight away. Really, it's nice to actually know you've done your transaction one day. I go to the shop, and the day after, all I've got to do is send a picture in, and it's been consolidated by someone. It's a weight's been lifted off my shoulders massively for us. I'm really pleased. I've got 14 questions, so I'm going to run through them for you.
Yes.
So Do you suggest keeping up with your accounts weekly, or is it something you should do once a year? So obviously, I think you've already answered that, really, and how you actually mentioned how you do pay that premium at the end of the year. If you actually do go to an accountant at the end of the year, here's my receipts, sort us out.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think that's a massive benefit of being with Awesome is you've not got that premium at the end of the year. So I think you've
yeah,
already actually answered that question for us. Um,
yeah.
a lot of people talk about their expense. What can be classed as an expense? Okay, so could you bring some insight on this and maybe some examples of expense in the e-commerce world? Really, I think that's quite a good one for people.
I always say this one sentence that helps to understand this whole expense world. Basically, if you're spending money just because the business is there, you would have not spent that money because the business wasn't there, then you can expense it. So, for example, if you're traveling, you're an Amazon arbitrage, you're going to a local shop to see what you can buy and sell online. That traveling that you made only that traveling because of your business. If your business wasn't there, you wouldn't have traveled that day, right? So that travel, your TFL ticket or your car mileage, you can claim back. Anything that you buy as a cost to sell, all of that cost can be put against your expenses. So have this one understanding in mind that you're spending this money just because of your business, you can claim that back. But then there are certain rules which stick with HMRC for things like using home or work from home allowance, entertainment. There's some expenses that have some restrictions. Apart from that, anything that you're doing for the business purposes is claimable. Now, example for e-commerce, a lot of people that miss out on is things like your Amazon fees, your eBay platform fees, all of that are claimable because that's reducing your expenses to do that business. Your personal time, you can put yourself on salary and reduce because you are spending time to do that business. That can be claimed again. Traveling, all of the ingredients, any advertisement that you do for your products, if you're taking photos for your and you paid someone for photography, any marketing that you're doing, Facebook, Google, whatever you're doing, all of that is expense claimable against your business. One last thing on this, if you're buying goods from outside the UK, I have seen there are two types of shipment, DDP and DAP. Please be careful on which one you use because DDP seems really easy and you get the products straight away at your home. With DAP, you have to pay the customs and VAT to get it released. DAP is more beneficial for you financially because the VAT that you have paid, you can claim that back. With DDP, your supplier is paying everything and you can't claim back. So, there are quite a few things that are very specific to e-commerce. Speak to an accountant and see what works best for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the big one for me is like after having the onboarding call was actually the Amazon fees. I generally think like if you go to the standard accountant, there will be literally just money in, money out. They don't actually look at all the different fees that comes with per sale. So for me, that's been the biggest difference, really running my business day in and day out. Like having Awesome linked to every single item that I sell has made like a big difference for us, which I'm really, really pleased. Um, so obviously you talked about it already. So the next question was like, I'm doing a lot of driving, picking up stock even, sorry, for retail arbitrage. Can I claim the miles? Yes. If you want to tell them how much they actually can claim.
Yeah, so mileage is worked on the basis of how many miles you've done in a year. So I think up until you can claim 40p for the first 10,000 miles. And then after that, I believe it's 20 or 22p, something like that. So make an Excel sheet for yourself, drop down all of the mileages you're doing and back and forth. And up until 10,000 miles, you can, in a year, you can claim 40p per mile. And after that, it's 20p per mile.
Yeah, which adds up, you know what I mean? Like journey per journey does add up to like 10. You can actually add up
It,
quite a
it,
lot.
it, it does add up a lot. And anytime you're entering something on Excel sheet, just remember you're saving 19% of that under
Yeah.
taxes.
Oh, wow. And do they need location to location or just put the mileage in?
They need to location would be better because HMRC will come and see how much mileage you have claimed, and it has to be reasonable. And if you have location to location, then it's more justifiable that from this location to this, these are how
Yeah,
many miles I've done. Yeah.
perfect. Perfect. So when calculating the VAT threshold, is the money you receive in your bank from Amazon or your total sales? That's the next one I've got.
Total sales, not the money you receive, because Amazon deducts all of the fees and then put the money in. Your actual sales is what you're selling to your end consumers. So the total sales.
Total sales, perfect. If I do Amazon alongside my full-time job, okay, does my salary count towards the VAT threshold?
No, the VAT threshold is only for the sales of the product that you're selling, not anything else. So even if you're selling outside the your normal current, so if you have another business and you're doing something else, that will not count towards this business threshold. So it's only for this business a specific threshold.
Perfect. I'm running through these, okay. Obviously, like that's what I like, and that's the thing. We're on the 8th question here, and that's what I like about Awesome. Really, it's not blah blah blah. It is what it is. You're getting your answer, and that's what your answer you're getting, very nice and clear, and that's what I'll be getting day in and day out, really. So I'm loving this. So I've got, what are the perks of setting up as a limited company rather than a sole trader?
Look, it's a more in-depth understanding of it. So there are perks of being a sole trader. There are perks of being a limited company, right? So let's start with sole trader. It's very easy, simple, straightforward to do. You just have to declare your taxes once a year, and you need to register once, and 31st of January every year you have to do it. So it's very consistent and very simple and straightforward. It's not public, so all the information about your business is with you. You don't have to share anything with any of the public, basically, as compared to limited company where your business information is public. And then the taxes is quite simple as well. Whatever profits you made, the 20% and the national insurance is paid as tax. Whereas a limited company, it's a lot more public. There's quite a few elements in it, HMRC, Companies House, and quite a few other things involved in it. But one of the main things that attracts everyone is limited companies very protective. As a sole trader, you will be held personally responsible for any overdue debts that you're not able to pay. So for example, whatever happened and you go bankrupt, your business didn't progress any further, then you will the bank can come to literally come back for your cars and your house to clear the debts. But limited company, they can't, because you're not the face of the business. The limited company is. So limited company protects you a lot in compared to other things, and it's slightly more tax efficient if your business is big. So overall, depending on at what point of your business you're at, one is better than the other.
Yeah. So if you want to take it seriously, basically, it is worth in the long run going to a limited company, isn't it? As you said, I think the last thing you mentioned also, the tax efficient, it can be a lot more tax efficient really for us. Next one is, so is my stock classed as an expense or is it an asset that has to be taxed?
This is one of the most wrongly done thing on e-commerce that I've seen. Anytime anyone buys something, they just put it on an expense. It's not an expense, it's an asset. An asset then goes to your balance sheet, and when you sell something, you then expense it. So if, let's say you bought 10 items, you put that under inventory, sold 5 of them, you'll record the sales of 5 and you'll put 5 from your inventory into your expenses. But regardless of how you do it, they're always tax heavy. So when you expense it from your asset to expenses, then it reduces your tax.
Perfect. Yeah. So it needs to be sold before it's actually considered an expenses, and then that's a big one, is it needs to be sold.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So if I'm based in a different country, but I sell in the UK, can I use an accountant like you, or do I need someone else from my own country?
No, I have many clients who are not based in UK, but are selling in UK, and they need their accounts done in UK. So you need someone in UK you don't need specifically, because there's not a rule like that, but someone who understands the UK system, and we do. So you can use us for that.
Perfect. So like obviously, the big one that I had, I think I introduced Awesome to people on YouTube about 2-3 weeks. Obviously, Awesome's been around for ages, but basically the message that I got on Instagram was like, right, why Awesome instead of just a normal accountant? So I don't know if you want to actually say the big difference, like why should I not just go on a typical high street accountant, and why pick Awesome?
Look, what we're doing is we're trying to change the whole way the accounting is done. So since I've joined Awesome personally, I have not inputted a single invoice into the system. So, you know, like a traditional accountant who has an invoice in front of them and they're literally putting date, invoice number, and VAT, I have not done for a single client of mine, because everything is done through the system and the AI, right? So if I'm not doing that, it saves me a lot more time to do research and understanding of the sector I'm in. I spent almost 2 months understanding Brexit and EU and all the new rules that came out on 1st of July. Because we use technology and automate the whole process, we are able to provide more valuable information. So when you come to us, you don't just get your books done and you get the numbers thrown back to you. You actually get an accountant who will help you understand those numbers, who will tell you exactly what's happening with your business and how, obviously we are not management accountants, so we won't be planning or budgeting anything for you, but we will give you the first step to do that. And that's where we differ from the traditional accountant, especially the sector we work in. As I said, if you go to an accountant and you ask them, can you help me set up my whole business and how do I trade into EU? They will charge you consultancy fees on top of your normal, because this is a consultancy you're asking for them. That's what they do for a living, right? But with us, because we have already charged you for your basic bookkeeping, and we are not doing the basic bookkeeping, the computer is doing it for you, we are able to provide that consultation at more reasonable or no price at all. So you get the expertise, you get the technology, plus you get the time of an accountant for more valuable stuff.
It makes sense. Like, I think I was speaking, I think it was Yusuf I was speaking to, and he was actually saying like VAT with Amazon changed twice already since the beginning of the year. So isn't something that I should be looking at? I mean, that's something that you guys know and let us know, and you do everything for us. And it's a big thing. I'm no longer spending an hour or two researching to see what a definition Amazon's actually doing. I can just send a message and you tell me what it is. Again, which just saves me time to actually do what I want to be doing for us. Next thing I've got a question is a cheeky one. Okay. Do you guys claim food and drink expenses when you're out in sourcing for us? So can they actually claim for food if you're actually going out sourcing?
It's very specific, so you have to be very specific about it. So if you are doing your normal day-to-day thing, then you can't. So think of it this way, that let's say if you're working 9 to 5 and you have a lunch break. In that lunch break, whatever you eat, you can't claim that money back because it's your personal lunch, right? But if you go to a trip from your business, you go to 3 days trip for a training or something, then they provide you, or they say to you, you eat up to 25 pounds or 15 pounds basically during lunch and 25 during dinner, and we'll reimburse you. So that is something that they can claim. So it very depends on exactly what you're doing, but there are some things that you can, some you can't.
Perfect. And another one here again, it says, how would you declare your inventory purchases? Again, when you buy on Facebook Marketplace or car boot sale, say, for example.
Well, look, as soon as you bought them, I know Facebook and boot sales, they don't provide you any sort of invoices or paperwork. You just manually put them onto the accounting system on how much you paid, because you would have paid them either through cash or a card payment, right? That cash you took out was probably from your bank account. So make sure when you're doing transactions like these, do it from your business bank account. Don't do it from your personal, otherwise it will be very difficult to justify. Do it from your business bank account, and we'll use those transactions to put them as inventory.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I mean, we've actually run through the majority, all the questions really for us, and that's exactly what I like. Like, fire away the questions and see what we actually get from it. So the last thing we've actually got here, okay, so how can people sign up for a free consultation with OSOME? What do they need to do?
I think they just need to call us or go to the there's a referral link from your
I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug my channel. I'm going to say they can actually put the referral link below, and obviously they actually do get sorry, go for it.
No, sorry, my bad. So you use that referral link to either book the consultation or just give us a call and say you're calling from Nicholas reference, and then obviously, as you said, there's £100 voucher as well.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Thank you much for your time and everything. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and looking forward to actually trying to do these more consistently too, and getting as much information out for everyone, and actually be as happy as I am with joining a service like you guys.
Appreciate that, and thank you for having me. And again, any questions, if you and your group has, please feel free to push them to us, and we'll be happy to answer.
Cheers for that, mate.